A floorboard creaks in the empty hall. A cold spot forms in a warm room. A shadow flickers just beyond your sight. In these quiet, unnerving moments, a single thought can arise. Ghost. This idea is not new. It is as old as humanity itself. People from every corner of the world, across thousands of years, have told stories of spirits who linger after death. These tales are more than simple spooky stories told around a campfire. They are profound expressions of our deepest questions about life, loss, what comes next. They are a map of the human heart, charting our fears and our hopes. Long before written history, our ancestors faced the profound mystery of death. When a member of their tribe passed away, the community was left with a powerful absence. They saw a body that was once filled with life become still and cold. Where did that life go? This question sparked the earliest spiritual beliefs. Evidence from ancient burial sites shows us that people did not simply discard their dead. Tools, weapons, food, ornaments. These offerings suggest a belief that the deceased would need these items in another existence. This idea of an afterlife was a foundational stone for ghost beliefs. The spirit, or soul, was thought to separate from the body and travel to a new realm. In many early cultures, this journey was seen as perilous. The living had a duty to perform the correct rituals to ensure the spirit's safe passage. If these rituals were neglected, or if the person had died a violent or unjust death, it might remain on earth, restless and unable to find peace. This is the ancient seed of the haunted spirit, the ghost that cannot move on. In ancient Mesopotamia, some of the earliest written texts describe encounters with spirits. They called them Gidim. These were the ghosts of people who were not buried properly. A Gidim could bring sickness and misfortune to the living, not out of malice, but out of its own suffering and desperation. The living, in turn, performed ceremonies to appease these spirits and help them find their way to the underworld. This relationship was one of cautious respect, a recognition that the worlds of the living and the dead were deeply interconnected. Similarly, in ancient Egypt, the concept of the soul was incredibly complex. They believed a person had multiple spiritual parts, including the Ba and the Ka. The Ba was a part of the soul that could travel between the world of the living and the tomb. The Ba needed to be able to recognize its own body, which is why mummification was so important. The Egyptians built magnificent tombs and left detailed instructions in the Book of the Dead to guide the deceased, showing a profound cultural focus on ensuring the dead rested peacefully and did not return to trouble the living. As civilizations grew, so did the complexity of their ghost mythologies. Each culture wove its own unique threads into the tapestry of the afterlife, creating a rich diversity of spirits, shades, and specters. In ancient Greece, the dead descended to the underworld, a gloomy realm ruled by the god Hades. Most of the dead became shades, faint, disembodied echoes of their former selves. However, some souls, especially those who died tragically or were left unburied, could become restless ghosts. These spirits might haunt the living, seeking justice or proper burial rites to finally find rest. In ancient Rome, the beliefs were similar, but emphasized household spirits and ancestors. Romans believed in lares, penates, and manes. Families held parentalia and lemuria to honor the dead. During lemuria, the head of the household performed rituals to appease and exorcise lemures from the home. This shows a dual view. Ancestors could protect or become dangerous if not respected. Moving to the east, a different but equally powerful tradition emerges. In China, ancestor worship is central. Ancestors are active family members, bringing blessings and fortune when honored with offerings and respect. But there is also belief in Gai, ghosts of those who died violently, who have no family, or who hold deep grievances. These resentful spirits are feared and can cause harm. The Ghost Festival is when wandering spirits are appeased with food and paper offerings. In Japan, the vengeful spirit becomes the Yurei, often female, bound by powerful emotion, sorrow, jealousy, or a desire for revenge. They haunt places or those who wrong them. The classic Yurei image, long black hair, white burial kimono, pale face, is now iconic. Unlike Western ghosts with rattling chains, the Yurei is a psychological weight, a manifestation of unresolved trauma that cannot rest until its purpose is fulfilled. During the Middle Ages in Europe, the idea of the ghost was filtered through the powerful lens of Christian theology, The church taught that after death, a soul went to heaven, hell, purgatory, a temporary place where souls were purified before entering heaven. This framework dramatically changed the role of the ghost. A spirit returning from the dead was no longer just a restless ancestor. It was now a soul with a specific, divinely sanctioned purpose. Most commonly, ghosts were believed to be souls from purgatory, returning to ask the living for prayers to shorten their time of suffering. These ghostly visitations became moral lessons. This reinforced the church's authority and the importance of religious rites. It gave the living a tangible way to help their departed family members, strengthening community bonds through shared prayer and remembrance. However, not all ghosts were seen as benevolent souls, seeking prayer, The medieval world was also filled with a deep fear of the demonic. Some spirits were thought to be demons masquerading as the dead, sent to tempt or torment the living. Others were the ghosts of great sinners, forced to wander the earth as part of their punishment, reenacting their crimes or haunting the places where they had sinned. These tales often featured ghosts bound in chains, a physical representation of the weight of their guilt. This image, popularized by stories from this era, has endured for centuries. These beliefs gave rise to a rich folklore of haunted places. Castles, monasteries, battlefields became the settings for countless ghost stories. The spirit of a murdered king, a betrayed lady, or a faithless monk was said to linger, forever tied to the scene of their earthly tragedy. These stories served as local history and cautionary tales. They explained strange noises in old buildings and taught lessons about justice, loyalty, and sin. The medieval ghost was a complex figure, part messenger from the beyond, part moral instructor, and part terrifying symbol of damnation. As the Age of Enlightenment dawned, science began to flourish. People started looking for rational explanations for phenomena that were once attributed to the supernatural. The question was no longer just what people were seeing, but why they were seeing it. Psychologists, neuroscientists began to explore the inner workings of the human brain. They discovered that our minds are powerful storytellers, constantly working to make sense of sensory information. One key area of study is how our brains interpret ambiguous sensory input. This is pareidolia, face-like features on Mars. Low-frequency sound waves, called infrasound, are below hearing, but can be felt as vibrations. Infrasound can cause unease, dread, or the sensation of a presence. During extreme grief, people may see or hear a deceased loved one. This is the brain coping with loss. Sleep paralysis, mind awake, body asleep, can produce visions of intruders, visions of presences, and a pressure on the chest. Neurologists can induce a sensed presence in labs. By using magnetic fields to stimulate a specific part of the brain called the temporal lobe, they can make a person feel as if someone is standing just behind them. This suggests feelings of being watched can come from brain activity, not an external spirit. Science doesn't rule out ghosts, but shows many experiences come from our fallible minds. The Industrial Revolution. The rise of new technologies in the 19th century and the 20th century did not banish ghosts. They gave people new tools to hunt for them. The invention of photography, a wave of spirit photography, ghostly images alongside the living, exposed as darkroom tricks, double exposures, yet they captivated the public imagination. For the first time, it seemed like scientific proof of the afterlife. The camera, a machine of truth, appeared to capture what the eye could not. The invention of audio recording. People searched for ghostly voices in static electronic voice phenomena, EVP. Ghost hunters with tape recorders at haunted sites, asking questions into empty air, listening back for faint replies. Today, digital recorder software to isolate and amplify voices. Technology became a partner to new methods to seek paranormal evidence. Mass media shaped the modern ghost. Books, radio, film, television. Chain-rattling specter, white lady, violent poltergeist became standardized. Movies like The Haunting, The Exorcist set the template for hauntings. Stories created a shared cultural language for the supernatural. When people have strange experiences today, they interpret them through what they've seen on screen. In the 21st century, the internet social media exploded ghost lore. Anyone with a smartphone can investigate, capture orbs on camera, often dust, or record strange sounds. YouTube channels, podcasts, reality TV shows made ghost hunting massively popular. This democratized the ghost story. Not passed down by village elders anymore, it's shared, liked, remixed in endless digital conversation, creating new myths in real time. The modern ghost is not just in the castle, it is on your screen. So after millennia of stories, science, speculation, why do we remain so captivated by ghosts? The answer may be that ghost stories are not really about the dead, they are about the living. They are a mirror reflecting our most enduring human qualities. Our capacity for love, our struggle with loss, our fear of the unknown, our deep-seated need for meaning. The belief in ghosts provides a framework to process these powerful emotions. It offers a narrative for experiences that defy easy explanation, turning a cold draft into a message and a flicker of light into a visit from a loved one. The persistence of ghost belief speaks to a fundamental human desire for connection that even death cannot sever. When we lose someone, the story of our relationship with them feels unfinished. The idea that their spirit might linger offers a form of comfort, a continuation of that bond. It suggests that those we love are not gone forever, but are simply in another room, just out of sight. This is why many ghostly encounters are not terrifying, but are instead gentle and reassuring. A familiar scent, a favorite song playing at the right moment, a feeling of being watched over and protected. Ghost stories also function as a powerful form of cultural memory. A haunted house is not just a scary place, it is a repository of history, a landmark where a tragic or important event is remembered. These stories anchor a community to its past. They serve as cautionary tales, reminding us of injustices that should not be forgotten and moral lines that should not be crossed. By telling the story of the ghost, we keep the story of the person alive. We reaffirm our shared values and our collective identity. The ritual of sharing these tales binds us together in the face of life's greatest mystery. In the end, it may not matter whether ghosts are objectively real. Their power lies in the questions they force us to ask and the feelings they allow us to explore. They are a symbol of the boundary between what we know and what we can only imagine. They represent both our greatest fear, that of oblivion, and our greatest hope, that of continuity. The wind will continue to stir the curtains. The floors will creak in the night. And we will continue to tell stories, looking into the darkness and seeing a reflection of our own humanity, forever wondering and forever remembering.